I'm Margaret Hale, 75 years young, standing in my quiet riverside cottage, slipping into my favorite emerald dress. It's the kind that makes you feel like you're still the heroine of your own story. Today was supposed to be a family gathering. My table set, my heart open, but a single text from my daughter, Sarah, shattered that. Not a good time, Mom. Sorry. 4 words that cut deeper than they should, stirring memories of sacrifices I've buried for years. Money for her house, her children's schooling, her life. I've given everything, yet here I am, alone, wondering where I went wrong. What happens when love feels like a one-way street? When the family you've built your world around treats your heart like an afterthought? Stick with me, because this story isn't just about pain, it's about finding strength in the wreckage. If you're moved by what I'm sharing, please hit that like button and subscribe to join me on this journey. Let's uncover what happens when a woman reclaims her life, one fearless step at a time. I smooth the folds of my emerald green dress, the one I've always thought perfect for family gatherings. Elegant, but not so fancy it'd make Sarah raise an eyebrow. At 75, I'm long past chasing trends, but I like to look put together. The mirror in my bedroom reflects a woman who spent decades building a life in this small riverside town of Willow Creek, Virginia. My home, a modest 2-story cottage on Maple Street, is filled with memories, photographs of Henry and me at our 40th anniversary, Sarah with her first bike, little Lily and Ethan at their school plays. Each frame tells a story of love, sacrifice, and time. Tonight, Sarah's hosting a family dinner at her new apartment in Richmond, a 45-minute drive away. She called yesterday insisting I come, saying it's important. Mom, we've got big news, she'd said, her voice bright but rushed. Dinner's at 7 o'clock, so I've got an hour to get ready. I'm adjusting my earrings when my phone buzzes on the dresser. A message from Sarah. Smiling, I slip on my glasses, expecting details about the evening. Maybe she's offering to pick me up, though that's rare these days. My eyes scan the screen and my breath catches. Mom, sorry, but tonight's not a good fit. We'll reschedule soon. Not a good fit? My fingers hover over the keyboard, confusion tightening my chest. Sarah's voice from yesterday echoes, her excitement, her insistence. I reread the message, searching for a clue. Did something come up? An emergency? My thumb scrolls back through our texts, landing on her words from last night. You have to be here, Mom. It's a big deal. I type, is everything okay? And hit send. The reply comes almost instantly, sharp and cold. It's just not the right vibe with you there. Let's do it another time. My hand trembles, the phone suddenly heavy. Not the right vibe? I sink onto the edge of my bed, the dress's fabric crumpling under my grip. The words sting, slicing through years of moments I've brushed aside. Sarah's clipped tone when I offered advice. Her husband David's polite but distant smiles, the way they'd thank me for help but never ask how I'm doing. I set the phone down and walk to the living room, where a photo of Henry catches my eye. His warm grin, frozen in time from our trip to the Blue Ridge Mountains, seems to steady me. Maggie, don't let them walk over you, he'd say, his voice firm but kind. Henry always knew how to draw a line, even with Sarah. Me? I've always been softer, too eager to keep the peace. I've poured everything into this family, my time, my heart, my savings. The apartment Sarah and David live in. I covered the $80,000 down payment last year, believing it was for family stability, as Sarah put it. Ethan's private school tuition, Lily's college fees, David's new SUV for client meetings. I paid for those too, check after check, because it felt right, because that's what mothers do. But now, staring at Sarah's message, a memory surfaces. Last Christmas, I'd driven to their place with a homemade pecan pie, only to find they'd forgotten to invite me to their holiday party. Oh, Mom, it was just a work thing, Sarah had said, barely looking up from her phone. I'd smiled, nodded, driven home alone. The pie sat uneaten in my fridge for a week. I'd told myself it was a misunderstanding, but tonight's message feels different, deliberate, like a door slamming shut. I pick up the phone again, my thumb hovering over Sarah's name. Part of me wants to call, to demand an explanation, but another part, the part that's carried this family for years, knows the truth. They don't want me there. Not really. My gaze drifts to the stack of bills on the coffee table, reminders of all I've given. The weight of it presses down, mingling with the ache in my chest. Henry's voice echoes again. Maggie, you're enough. I close my eyes, the words a lifeline. Something shifts inside me, a spark of resolve. I don't know what I'll do next, but I know I can't keep pretending this is okay. The phone buzzes again. Another message from Sarah. I hesitate, my heart pounding, then open it. Just give us some space, Mom. It's better this way. Better for who? The question burns, and for the first time in years, I feel the stirrings of anger, not just at Sarah, but at myself for letting this go on so long. The mirror across the room catches my reflection, and I see a woman who's given too much for too little. Maybe it's time I stop. The words on my phone screen burn into me. Just give us some space, Mom. It's better this way. I remain frozen in my living room, the emerald green dress clinging to me like a costume for a part I've been reciting too long. Around me, the quiet of the cottage on Maple Street in Willow Creek, Virginia, feels heavier than ever, broken only by the soft hum of the refrigerator in the kitchen. Sarah's message isn't just a last-minute change, it's a verdict, cold and unmistakable, tearing down the comforting illusions I've wrapped myself in for years. My fingers curl around the phone, heat rising to my face, and with effort, I place it gently on the coffee table before emotion drives me to say something I can't take back. I need space, my own space, to think, to breathe, to feel what this really means. I sink into the armchair by the window, the one Henry used to call Maggie's thinking spot. The view of the James River glimmers faintly under the streetlights, but my eyes drift to the stack of papers on the table. Bills, receipts, bank statements. They're not just paper. They're proof of everything I've given to Sarah and her family. I reach for the top folder, labeled Family Expenses, my fingers trembling as I open it. The numbers stare back at me, stark and undeniable. $80,000 for the down payment on Sarah and David's Richmond apartment last spring. $12,000 a year for Ethan's private school because Sarah said he needed the best. $25,000 for David's SUV justified as essential for his real estate clients. Lily's college tuition, $15,000 a semester, plus extra for her dorm and books. I flipped through receipt after receipt, each one a memory of a conversation, a plea, a promise. Mom, it's an investment in our future, Sarah had said about the apartment, her eyes bright with ambition. You'll always have a place with us. I'd believed her, signing the check with a smile, imagining holiday dinners in that sleek new home. But I've never even been invited to stay overnight. David's SUV? It's for work, Maggie, he'd said, clapping my shoulder like I was a business partner. You're helping us build something big. I'd nodded, ignoring the way he never asked about my day. Ethan's school, Lily's tuition. Every time I wrote a check, I told myself it was for their future, for family. But now, Sarah's words, it's better this way, echo like a mockery of those sacrifices. I pull out another document, a bank statement from last month. My savings, built carefully with Henry over decades, have dwindled faster than I'd admitted to myself. I traced the line items, automatic transfers to Sarah's mortgage, Ethan's school, David's car insurance, nearly 100 payments, big and small, bleeding my account dry. I'd always thought of it as love, as duty, but love doesn't feel like this, like a transaction where I'm the only one paying. My gaze shifts to a framed photo on the mantel. Henry and me, arms around a teenage Sarah at her high school graduation. Her smile was wide, unburdened. When did that change? When did she stop seeing me as her mother and start seeing me as a resource? I closed the folder, my chest tight with a mix of grief and clarity. This isn't just about tonight's canceled dinner. It's about years of being taken for granted, of giving until there was little left of me. The phone buzzes again, and I flinch. It's not Sarah this time, but a notification from my bank. A scheduled payment to David's car loan is due tomorrow. I stare at it, my pulse quickening. How many more of these are lined up, siphoning off my future for their comfort? I think of Henry, his voice steady in my memory. Maggie, you can't buy their love. He'd said it once, years ago, when Sarah asked for a loan to start a boutique that folded in 6 months. I'd brushed him off, but he was right. This isn't love, it's dependence, and I've enabled it. I stand, the folder still in my hands, and walk to the kitchen. The light over the sink casts a soft glow as I set the papers down and grab a notepad. I start listing the payments: mortgage, tuition, insurance, even Sarah's gym membership. The list grows, each line a weight lifting from my shoulders. I'm not just seeing the money, I'm seeing the truth. They don't call to check on me. They don't visit unless they need something. Last month, when I had the flu, Sarah sent a single text. Feel better, no offer to bring soup, no follow-up. Yet I paid their electric bill that same week. The notepad fills up, and with it, a fire kindles inside me. I'm done being their bank. I don't know what Sarah's big news was supposed to be tonight, but her messages have given me my own revelation. I'm worth more than this. I pick up the phone, my hand steadier now, and search for the number of Willow Creek Community Bank. It's late, but their 24-hour line is always open. As I dial, I glance at Henry's photo again. I'm listening now, love, I whisper. The line connects, and a polite voice answers. Willow Creek Community Bank. How may I assist you? Good evening, I say, my voice firm despite the hour. This is Margaret Hale. I need to discuss some automatic payments on my account. Of course, Mrs. Hale. Can you verify a few details for me? I answer her questions: date of birth, account number, my resolve growing with each word. I want to cancel all automatic payments from my account. Every single one. There's a pause. All of them, Mrs. Hale? You have quite a few. Yes, all of them. I repeat, glancing at the notepad. And I need it done tonight. I can start the process, she says, her tone cautious. But you'll need to visit the branch to sign some forms for a full cancellation. That's fine. I'll be there first thing tomorrow. Just suspend everything now. She hesitates, then types something. All right, I'm placing a temporary hold on 98 payments. You'll need to confirm in person by noon tomorrow. 98? I echo, stunned. I'd guessed a lot, but not that many. Yes, ma'am. Would you like me to list them? No, I say, my voice quieter now. That's enough for tonight. Thank you. I hang up, the silence of the cottage wrapping around me. 98 ways I've propped up Sarah's life, and she can't even make room for me at her table. I set the phone down and look at the notepad again, the list a map of my naivety, but it's also a map to something new, freedom maybe. The thought scares me, but it also feels right. Sarah's going to lose her mind when she finds out, and David will probably call with his usual charm. Let them. For the first time in years, I'm choosing me. The morning light filters through the kitchen curtains, casting a soft glow on the notepad still open on the counter. 98 payments. The number has haunted me since last night, a stark reminder of how much I've given, how much I've lost. I sip my coffee, the bitter warmth grounding me as I stare at the phone. No calls yet, no texts. Sarah and David haven't noticed the suspended payments, but they will soon. The thought sends a shiver through me, part dread, part exhilaration. For the first time in years, I'm not waiting for their approval or their gratitude. I'm acting for myself. I set the mug down and glance at the clock. 8:15 a.m. Willow Creek Community Bank opens at 9 o'clock, and I plan to be there when the doors unlock. I need to make this permanent, to sever the financial cords I've let strangle me. My emerald green dress from last night hangs in the closet, replaced now by a simple navy blouse and slacks. No need for appearances today. This is about resolve, not show. The drive to the bank is short, just a few blocks through the quiet streets of Willow Creek, Virginia. The James River glints to my left, its steady flow a contrast to the churn in my chest. I park outside the brick building, its sign gleaming under the morning sun. I'm early, so I sit in the car, clutching the folder of financial documents I pulled together last night. Inside are bank statements, receipts, and my notepad list, evidence of a life spent funding Sarah's dreams while neglecting my own. At 8:55, I step out, folder in hand, and walk to the entrance. The air smells of river water and fresh-cut grass, a reminder of simpler days when Henry and I would stroll these streets, planning our future. "Maggie, you're too generous," he'd said once, watching me write a check for Sarah's first car. I'd laughed it off, but now I wish I'd listened. The bank's glass doors swing open, and a young teller, Emily, greets me with a smile. "Mrs. Hale, good to see you. Here for a deposit?" "No, Emily," I say, my voice steady. "I need to speak with Mrs. Larson. It's urgent." Emily nods, her smile faltering at my tone. "Of course. She's in her office. I'll let her know you're here." I wait in the lobby, clutching the folder like a shield. The bank is quiet, just a few early customers at the counters. My eyes drift to a framed photo on the wall, Willow Creek's annual River Festival, where Henry and I used to volunteer. I can almost hear his laugh, his hand warm in mine. "Maggie, don't let them take you for granted," he'd warned. "I'm trying, Henry." "Mrs. Hale?" Susan Larson, the bank manager, appears, her gray hair neatly pinned back. "Come on in." I follow her to a small office, the door clicking shut behind us. Susan's known me for decades. She handled our accounts when Henry was alive. Her desk is tidy, a single photo of her grandchildren smiling from a frame. I wonder if she's ever faced what I'm facing now. "So, Margaret," she says, settling into her chair, "I got a note about your call last night. You suspended all automatic payments?" "Yes," I say, opening the folder and sliding my notepad across the desk. 98 of them. I want them canceled permanently, today." Susan's eyebrows lift as she scans the list. "This is significant. Mortgage payments, tuition, car loans. Most of these are tied to your daughter's family, correct?" I nod, my throat tightening. "Sarah and David, and their kids, Ethan and Lily. I've been covering their expenses for years. Too long." She leans back, her expression softening. "Margaret, I've known you a long time. Are you sure about this? It's a big change." "I'm sure," I say, meeting her gaze. "I got a message from Sarah last night. She canceled a family dinner, said I wasn't a good fit, then told me to give them space. After everything I've done, $80,000 for their apartment, Ethan's school, David's car, I'm done being their bank." Susan nods slowly, jotting something down. "I understand. Let's go through the process. You'll need to sign forms for each account, and we'll need to verify the cancellations. Some payments, like the mortgage, might have penalties if stopped abruptly." "Let them deal with the penalties," I say, sharper than I intended. "It's their responsibility now." She doesn't flinch, just pulls a stack of forms from a drawer. "All right, let's start with the primary account. I'll pull up the list of payments." As she types, I feel a strange mix of relief and fear. Relief that I'm finally drawing a line, fear of what comes next. Sarah's going to be furious. David will probably call, all charm and excuses. Ethan might not understand, but Lily, sweet Lily, might. She's always been different, the only one who calls just to talk. Susan turns her monitor toward me, the screen displaying a long list of transactions. Here they are: mortgage, $2,500 a month; Ethan's tuition, $1,000 monthly; car insurance, $300; and a gym membership. I wince. Sarah's. She said it was for her mental health. I didn't question it. Susan's lips press into a thin line, but she doesn't comment. We'll need your signature on each cancellation. I can process most of them today, but a few, like the mortgage, require a 48-hour notice. I've already suspended them, so no payments will go through until you confirm. I take the pen she offers, my hand steady despite the storm inside. Let's do it. We work through the forms one by one. Each signature feels like a step away from the woman I've been, too giving, too forgiving. I think of Sarah's text, her casual dismissal. It's better this way. Better for who? Not me, not anymore. Margaret, Susan says as we near the end, you've got a lot of payments tied to their household. Once these are canceled, they'll feel it immediately. Are you prepared for the fallout? I pause, the pen hovering over the last form. Fallout. Sarah's anger, David's manipulation, Ethan's confusion. I picture their faces, the apartment I helped buy, the life I funded. Then I think of Henry, his voice clear in my mind. Maggie, you're enough. I sign the form. I'm ready, I say, sliding the papers back. They've had enough of me. It's my turn now. Susan nods, stacking the forms. I'll process these today. You'll get confirmation by email. If you need anything, legal advice, a referral, I'm here. Thank you, Susan, I say, standing. I appreciate it. As I walk out, the folder lighter in my hands, the bank's cool air gives way to the warmth of the morning. I feel different, freer, but also exposed, like I've shed a skin I didn't know was suffocating me. My phone stays silent in my purse, but I know it won't for long. Sarah's probably waking up now, checking her accounts, oblivious to the earthquake I've just triggered. I drive home, the river sparkling beside me. Back in my kitchen, I set the folder down and pour another coffee. The notepad list stares up at me, a testament to my old life. I tear the page out, crumple it, and toss it into the trash. It's done. But as I sit, the silence of the cottage feels heavy. What will Sarah say? Will she beg, yell, or worse, ignore me? And Lily? Will she understand? I push the thoughts aside and grab my coat. I need to keep moving, to hold on to this resolve. The bank was just the first step. There's more to do: lawyers, boundaries, a life to reclaim. For now, I'll take it one moment at a time. Henry's voice echoes again, soft but sure. You've got this, Maggie. I hope he's right. The silence in my cottage on Maple Street is deafening, broken only by the soft ticking of the grandfather clock in the hall. It's mid-afternoon, and the sun streams through the living room windows, casting long shadows across the hardwood. My phone, resting on the coffee table, has been buzzing relentlessly for the past hour. I haven't looked at it yet, but I know who it is: Sarah, David, maybe even Ethan. The bank must have notified them by now, or they've checked their accounts and seen the payments frozen. 98 lifelines, severed with a single call. My hands tremble as I pour tea into a porcelain cup, the one Henry bought me in Charleston years ago. I need something to steady myself, to brace for the storm I've unleashed. I sit in my armchair, the tea steaming in my hands, and finally reach for the phone. The screen lights up with notifications: 12 missed calls, 8 texts, all from Sarah and David. No surprise there. I scroll through the texts, my heart pounding. Sarah's first message, sent at 11:03 a.m. Mom, what's going on? The mortgage payment bounced. Then 10 minutes later, did you do something to the account? Call me now. David's messages are smoother, calculated. Maggie, there must be a mix-up with the bank. Let's sort this out. And then, more pointed, this isn't fair to the kids. Please call us. I set the phone down, my stomach twisting. Fair to the kids? What about fair to me? The phone buzzes again, a new call from Sarah. I let it ring, watching her name flash on the screen. Part of me wants to answer, to explain, to make her understand the hurt she's caused. But another part, the part that's been buried under years of giving, knows she won't listen. Not yet. The call goes to voicemail, and a moment later, a new text pops up. Mom, this is serious. You're screwing us over. Pick up the phone. Her words hit like a slap, and I feel the old urge to fix things, to smooth it over. But I don't. Not this time. I'm about to turn the phone off when a different name appears. Lily. My granddaughter, 20 years old, always the gentle one. Her text is simple. Grandma, are you okay? I heard Mom and Dad fighting about money. What's happening? My chest softens, a flicker of warmth cutting through the anger. Lily's different. She's the one who calls on my birthday, who stops by with coffee just to chat. I type a reply, my fingers careful. I'm fine, sweetheart. Just making some changes. Don't worry about me. I hit send, hoping she'll understand, even if her parents don't. The phone rings again. David this time. I mute it, but his voicemail pings through a second later. I hesitate, then play it, holding the phone to my ear. Maggie, it's David. His voice is calm, almost soothing, the way he talks to clients. I don't know what's going on, but this is hurting Sarah and the kids. Ethan's tuition is due next week, and the mortgage, well, you know how tight things are. Let's talk this through, okay? We're family. He pauses, then adds, call me back. I delete the message, my jaw tight. Family. The word feels hollow coming from him. I stand and pace the living room, the tea forgotten on the table. The photos on the mantel, Henry, Sarah, Lily, Ethan, seem to watch me, their smiles frozen in happier times. I stop at a picture of Sarah's wedding, her arm linked with David's, me beaming beside them. I'd paid for the venue, the flowers, even her dress. You're the best, Mom, she'd said, hugging me. But that was 22 years ago. When did it change? When did my love become a blank check? The phone buzzes with another text from Sarah, and I can't help but read it. You're being selfish, Mom. How could you do this to us? Selfish. The word stings, but it also ignites something fierce in me. Selfish. After the $80,000 I gave for their apartment, after covering Ethan's school, Lily's tuition, David's car, I want to scream, to call her and list every sacrifice, but I know it won't change her. She's too used to taking. Another call comes through, Sarah again. I let it ring, my hands clenched. The voicemail notification follows, and against my better judgment, I play it. Mom, this is ridiculous. Sarah's voice is sharp, almost hysterical. You can't just cut us off like this. We need that money, Ethan's school, the house, everything. What's wrong with you? Call me back or I'm coming over. The message ends, and the silence feels heavier than before. She's coming over. The threat hangs in the air, and I feel a surge of panic. But then I think of Henry, his steady voice. Maggie, you don't owe them your life. I set the phone down and walked to the kitchen, needing to move, to do something. The folder of financial documents is still on the counter, a reminder of my decision. I open it, flipping through the statements again. Each line item, mortgage, tuition, insurance, feels like a chain I've broken. But the freedom is terrifying. What if Sarah never speaks to me again? What if Ethan resents me? And Lily? Will she get caught in the crossfire? The phone pings with another text. This one from Lily. Grandma, I'm worried about you. Can I come by later? I don't care what Mom says. I just want to see you. Tears prick my eyes, and I type back quickly. I'd love that, Lily. Come whenever you want. Her kindness is a lifeline, a reminder that not all is lost. But Sarah and David's anger, their entitlement, it's a storm I'm not sure I'm ready for. I hear a car pull up outside, and my heart skips. Is it Sarah already? I peer through the curtains, but it's just a neighbor, Mrs. Jenkins, watering her roses. I exhale, my nerves frayed. Sarah's threat to come over lingers, and I know it's only a matter of time. I need to be ready to hold my ground. I grab the notepad from last night and start a new list, not of payments, but of things I want for myself. A painting class, maybe. A trip somewhere new. Things I've put off because Sarah's needs always came first. The phone buzzes again. David with another text. Maggie, let's not make this harder than it needs to be. Call me. I delete it without responding. Harder for who? Not me. Not anymore. I set the phone to silent and sit back down, the tea now cold. Lily's coming later, and that's enough for now. As for Sarah and David, they can rage all they want. I've made my choice, and I'm not turning back. The late afternoon sun bathes my living room in a golden haze, but the warmth does little to ease the knot in my stomach. The phone, now on silent, lies face down on the coffee table. It's quiet, a small victory amidst the chaos of the day. Sarah's threat to come over, call me back or I'm coming over, echoes in my mind, but she hasn't shown up yet. Neither has David, though his smooth-talking texts keep piling up, each one a calculated plea to restore the status quo. I've ignored them all, but the weight of their anger presses against me, a storm waiting to break. I need to stay ahead of it, to protect what I've started. That's why I'm sitting here, folder in hand, waiting for Clara Thompson, my lawyer, to arrive. Clara's been handling my affairs since Henry passed 10 years ago. She's sharp, no nonsense, with a knack for cutting through emotional fog to the heart of things. I called her this morning, right after leaving the bank, and she agreed to meet me at 4 p.m. It's 3:55 now, and I'm nervous, though I'm not sure why. Maybe it's the finality of what I'm about to do. Rewriting my will, setting up a trust, locking my assets away from Sarah and David's reach. It feels like a betrayal, even though they've betrayed me first. I open the folder, glancing at the bank forms I signed earlier. 98 payments, canceled. The memory of Susan Larson's cautious question, "Are you prepared for the fallout?" lingers. I thought I was. But Sarah's voicemail, her accusation of selfishness, has shaken me more than I'd like to admit. I push the thought aside and focus on the notepad beside me, where I've jotted down my goals for Clara. Revise will, set up trust, protect savings. Simple words, but they carry the weight of a new life. A knock at the door startles me. I stand, smoothing my navy blouse, and open it to find Clara, her silver hair pulled into a neat bun, a leather briefcase in hand. "Margaret," she says, her smile warm but professional. "It's good to see you, though I wish it were under happier circumstances." "Come in, Clara," I say, stepping aside. "Thank you for coming so quickly." She settles at the dining table, setting her briefcase down with a soft thud. "You sounded urgent on the phone. Something about your accounts and your will?" I nod, joining her at the table and sliding the folder toward her. "I canceled all my automatic payments to Sarah and her family this morning. 98 of them. Mortgage, tuition, car loans, you name it. I'm done funding their lives." Clara's eyebrows lift, but she doesn't interrupt. "And now you want to protect what's left?" "Exactly," I say, my voice steadier than I feel. "Sarah sent me texts last night, canceling a family dinner and telling me I wasn't a good fit. Then she said to give them space. After everything I've done, $80,000 for their apartment, Ethan's school, David's car, I can't keep doing this. I need to make sure they can't touch what's mine. Clara opens the folder, scanning the bank statements and my notepad. This is a significant step, Margaret. Let's talk options. A revocable trust could give you control during your lifetime, with assets distributed only after you're gone, or an irrevocable trust, which is harder to challenge but less flexible. We can also update your will to reflect your wishes. I want the irrevocable trust, I say, the words coming faster now. I don't want Sarah or David to have any claim, and I want to revise my will. Lily gets 40%, the rest to charity, maybe the Willow Creek Library. Sarah and Ethan get the legal minimum. Clara jots notes, her pen moving swiftly. Lily's your granddaughter, correct? The one at college? Yes, I say, a small smile breaking through. She's the only one who's shown me real care. She texted today, worried about me, not the money. That's telling, Clara says, her tone thoughtful. And Sarah and David? They're likely to push back, especially if they're this dependent. An irrevocable trust will protect you, but it's a hard line. Are you ready for that? I hesitate, Henry's voice echoing in my mind. Maggie, you can't buy their love. He'd said it when Sarah asked for a loan to start a boutique that failed in 6 months. I'd ignored him, but now I see it clearly. I'm ready, I say, meeting Clara's gaze. They've taken enough. She nods, pulling forms from her briefcase. All right, I'll draft the trust to include your savings, investments, and this property. You'll be the sole beneficiary during your lifetime, with distributions as you've outlined. The will can be updated to match. We'll need a witness for the signatures. Do you have someone in mind? Ellen Parker, my friend, I say. She lives 2 streets over. I'll ask her to come by tomorrow. Good, Clara says, sliding a form toward me. This is a preliminary agreement to start the trust process. Read it, sign it, and I'll file it by end of day. The full trust will take a week to finalize, but this locks in your intent. I scan the document, the legal jargon blurring slightly. It's real now, no turning back. My hand hovers over the signature line, a flicker of doubt creeping in. What if Sarah changes? What if she apologizes, means it this time? But then I think of her texts. You're being selfish, and the doubt fades. I sign. The pens scratch loud in the quiet room. Clara gathers the papers. You're doing the right thing, Margaret. Henry always said you were stronger than you knew. I smile faintly, surprised she remembers. He did, didn't he? He was right, she says, standing. I'll send you drafts tomorrow. Call me if Sarah or David try anything. They might get desperate. I will, I say, walking her to the door. Thank you, Clara. As she leaves, the cottage feels emptier, but not in a bad way, like I've cleared space for something new. I return to the dining table, the folder still open. My phone pings with a new text, and I brace myself, expecting Sarah. But it's Lily. Grandma, I'm coming by tonight. Just you and me, okay? My heart lifts, and I reply, can't wait, sweetheart. The relief is short-lived. Another text follows, this one from David. Maggie, this is getting out of hand. Let's meet tomorrow and fix this. I delete it, my resolve hardening. Fix what? Their dependence? My generosity? No, I'm done fixing their problems. I head to the kitchen, needing to keep my hands busy. As I chop vegetables for dinner, I think of Henry's advice, his belief in me, setting up the trust, revising the will. It's not just about money. It's about reclaiming my life, my worth. Sarah and David will fight back. I know that. But for the first time, I'm not afraid. I'm ready to face them, to hold my ground. Lily's coming tonight, and that's enough to keep me steady. The rest can wait. The evening air in Willow Creek carries the faint scent of jasmine as I set 2 plates on the dining table, the clink of porcelain sharp against the quiet. Lily's due any minute, and I've made her favorite, chicken pot pie, the recipe my mother taught me decades ago. The warmth of the oven fills the cottage, a small comfort amidst the tension that's been building all day. Sarah's voicemail, David's texts, their accusations, they've been circling in my mind like vultures. But I've held firm, bolstered by my meeting with Clara and the irrevocable trust I'm setting in motion. Still, I know the storm isn't over. Sarah's threat to come over hangs heavy, and I brace myself for what might come next. The doorbell chimes, and I wipe my hands on a dish towel, hurrying to answer. I expect Lily's bright smile, but instead, Sarah stands on the porch, her arms crossed, her face a mask of barely contained anger. Her dark hair is pulled back tightly, and her designer coat, one I likely paid for, gleams under the porch light. My stomach lurches, but I keep my expression steady. Sarah, I say, my voice calm but firm, I wasn't expecting you. We need to talk, Mom, she says, stepping forward as if I've already invited her in. Now. I block the doorway, my hand resting on the frame. This isn't a good time. Lily's coming over. Lily can wait, she snaps, her eyes narrowing. You've caused a mess, and I'm not leaving until we fix it. I take a deep breath, Henry's voice steady in my mind. Maggie, don't let them walk over you. There's nothing to fix, Sarah. I've made my decision. If you want to talk, we can schedule a time. Schedule a time? Her voice rises, incredulous. You cut off our mortgage, Ethan's school, everything. You think you can just hide behind scheduling? I'm not hiding, I say, meeting her gaze. I'm done funding your life while you treat me like I don't matter. Her mouth opens, then closes, as if my words have caught her off guard. For a moment, I see a flicker of something, guilt maybe, but it's gone quickly. I'm sorry about the dinner, okay? She says, her tone softer now, almost rehearsed. I shouldn't have canceled like that. It was a stressful day, and I overreacted. Can we move past it? I study her, searching for sincerity, but her eyes are too calculated, her apology too convenient. It's not just the dinner, Sarah, I say, my voice low. It's the years of taking $80,000 for your apartment, Ethan's tuition, David's car, your gym membership. I've given everything, and you can't even make room for me at your table. She flinches, but her jaw tightens. That's not fair, Mom. We've always appreciated your help. You know how hard David and I work, how much we're juggling. We need you. Need me? I echo, a bitter laugh escaping. You need my money. When was the last time you asked how I'm doing? When was the last time you called just to talk, not to ask for a check? Sarah's face reddens, and she steps closer, her voice dropping to a hiss. You're twisting this. We're family, Mom. Families help each other. You've always been there for us. Ethan's school, Lily's college. You can't just pull the rug out now. I can, and I have, I say, my hands clenching at my sides. I canceled 98 payments this morning. The bank's processing it, and I'm setting up a trust to protect what's left. You and David are on your own. Her eyes widen, shock giving way to fury. A trust? You're cutting us out completely? After everything you've what? I interrupt, my voice rising despite myself. What have you done for me, Sarah? Name one thing you've done out of love, not obligation or expectation. She stares at me, her mouth working, but no words come. The silence is deafening, a confirmation of what I've known deep down. That's what I thought, I say quietly. You don't see me as your mother. You see me as a resource, and I'm done with it. Mom, please, she says, her tone shifting to desperation. We can't lose the apartment. Ethan's school. They'll kick him out if we don't pay. I'm begging you, just turn the payments back on. We'll work this out, I promise. Her words tug at me, the old instinct to fix things flaring up. I think of Ethan, his shy smile, his love for science fairs. But then I remember Sarah's texts. You're being selfish, and the years of being sidelined. No, Sarah, I say, my voice steady now. You and David are adults. You both have good jobs. Figure it out. She steps back, her face contorting. You're going to regret this, she says, her voice low and venomous. You're tearing this family apart. No, I say, holding her gaze. You did that when you decided I wasn't worth your respect. Headlights flash in the driveway, and I glance past Sarah to see Lily's beat-up Honda pulling in. She steps out, her long brown hair tied back, her expression shifting from confusion to concern as she spots her mother. Mom? Grandma? What's going on? Ask your grandmother, Sarah snaps, turning to Lily. She's decided to ruin us. Sarah, that's enough, I say, my voice sharp. Go home. We're done here. Sarah glares at me, then at Lily, before storming to her car. The engine roars as she peels out, leaving a cloud of dust. Lily hurries to the porch, her eyes wide. Grandma, are you okay? What was that? I exhale, the tension draining from my shoulders. Come inside, sweetheart, I say, managing a small smile. Let's eat. I'll explain. We step into the cottage, the scent of chicken pot pie welcoming us. I close the door, shutting out Sarah's anger. Lily sets her bag down, her face still etched with worry. Mom was yelling about money, she says, sitting at the table. She said you cut off their payments. Is that true? I nod, serving her a slice of pie. I did. 98 automatic payments. Their mortgage, Ethan's school, your tuition, everything. I've been funding their lives for years, Lily, and last night, your mother told me I wasn't welcome at her dinner. She said I didn't fit and to give them space. Lily's fork pauses mid-air, her eyes widening. She said that? Grandma, that's awful. I didn't know. I know you didn't, I say, sitting across from her. You're the only one who's ever checked on me, who's cared without asking for something. That's why I'm telling you this. I'm not cutting you off. You're still in my will, and I'll always be here for you. But your parents, they need to stand on their own. Lily sets her fork down, her expression torn. I get it, but Mom and Dad are freaking out. Ethan doesn't even know yet. It's gonna be a mess. I know, I say, my voice softening. And I hate that it's hard for you and Ethan. But I can't keep enabling them. They've taken me for granted too long. She nods slowly, her eyes glistening. I'm not mad at you, Grandma. I wish it didn't have to be like this. Me too, I say, reaching for her hand. But sometimes things have to break before they can heal. We eat in silence for a while, the pie's warmth a small comfort. Lily's presence steadies me, a reminder that not all is lost. But Sarah's words, you're going to regret this, linger, and I know this isn't over. David's likely plotting his next move, and Sarah won't let go easily. Still, I feel stronger than I did this morning, anchored by Lily's care and my own resolve. For now, that's enough. The dining room glows softly under the chandelier's warm light, but the air feels charged, like the calm before a thunderstorm. I clear the dinner plates, the remnants of chicken pot pie scraped into the trash, while Lily lingers at the table, her fingers tracing the edge of her water glass. Her visit last night was a balm, her quiet support a reminder that I haven't lost everything. But Sarah's parting shot, you're going to regret this, has kept me on edge all day. I've silenced my phone, ignoring the barrage of texts and voicemails from her and David, but I know they're not done. They're too dependent, too entrenched in the life I've funded for years. $80,000 for their Richmond apartment, Ethan's private school, David's SUV. I've cut the cord, and they're scrambling. It's late afternoon now, and I'm in the kitchen, wiping down the counter, when the doorbell rings. 3 sharp, insistent chimes. My heart lurches. Lily's at her part-time job at the bookstore, so it's not her. I set the rag down and walk to the front window, peering through the curtains. My breath catches. David's standing on the porch, flanked by a group of people, 6, maybe 7, their faces a mix of awkward determination and curiosity. I recognize a few. Sarah's coworker, Mark, from her real estate firm, a neighbor from their old place in Willow Creek, and, to my shock, David's sister, Laura, who I haven't seen in years. What is this? I open the door, my hand steady on the knob despite the pulse hammering in my throat. David, I say, my voice cool. What's going on? He steps forward, his smile tight, the kind he uses to close deals. Maggie, we need to talk. All of us. He gestures to the group behind him, who shuffle closer, their eyes darting between me and the porch floor. This affects everyone, so we thought a family meeting was in order. Family? I echo, my gaze sweeping the crowd. I don't know half these people. This is my home, David. You don't get to barge in with a posse. Laura steps up, her expression apologetic but firm. Margaret, we're here because we're worried. Sarah's a wreck, and Ethan, well, he might lose his school. We just want to understand what's happening. Understand? I say, my voice sharpening. What's happening is I've stopped paying for your sister's life. 98 payments, mortgage, tuition, car loans. I'm done. Mark, the coworker, clears his throat, his suit jacket out of place on my quiet street. Mrs. Hale, I work with Sarah. She's been a mess at the office, missing deadlines. This financial issue is hitting her hard. Can't we find a compromise? I stare at him, incredulous. A compromise? After Sarah told me I wasn't welcome at her dinner? After she said to give me space because I didn't fit her vibe? You're here to defend that? The group shifts uncomfortably, murmurs rippling through them. David raises a hand, his voice smooth. Maggie, let's not get emotional. Sarah made a mistake and she's sorry, but cutting off the payments, our home, Ethan's education, that's punishing all of us. Let's go inside, talk this through like adults. No, I say, my voice steady but cold. This isn't a negotiation. You're not invited in, David. None of you are? I scan the faces. Laura, Mark, the others, some avoiding my eyes, others staring with faint judgment. If Sarah wants to talk, she can come herself. With Lily, if she wants. But this, I gesture to the group, this is manipulation, and I'm not falling for it. David's smile falters, a flash of frustration in his eyes. Maggie, you're making this harder than it needs to be. These people care about us, about Ethan and Lily. You're hurting them, too. Hurting them? I step forward, my voice rising. I've paid $80,000 for your apartment, $12,000 a year for Ethan's school, $25,000 for your car. I've given everything, and Sarah can't even invite me to a family dinner. Who's hurting who, David? Laura interjects, her tone pleading. Margaret, we know you've been generous, but Sarah and David are struggling. The mortgage is due, and if they lose the apartment, then they'll figure it out. I cut in, my hands clenching. They're adults. Sarah's a realtor. You're a broker, David. You're not helpless. Stop acting like it. The neighbor, a woman whose name I can't recall, speaks up, her voice tentative. Mrs. Hale, maybe if you just reinstated a few payments, like the mortgage. No, I say, my voice firm enough to silence her. I've set up a trust with my lawyer. My money is protected, and I'm not changing my mind. If you're here to guilt me, you're wasting your time. David takes a step closer, his voice low, almost menacing. Maggie, you're not thinking straight. This is your family. You can't just walk away. I'm not walking away, I say, holding his gaze. I'm walking toward myself for the first time in years. Now, I'm asking you to leave. All of you, except Lily if she's here. I glance past the group, hoping to see Lily's Honda, but it's not there. The crowd murmurs, some shaking their heads, others whispering to each other. Laura looks at David, her expression conflicted. Maybe we should go, David. This isn't working. David's jaw tightens, but he nods curtly. Fine, but this isn't over, Maggie. Sarah deserves better than this. Sarah deserves what she's earned, I say, my voice unwavering. And so do I. He turns, motioning for the group to follow. They shuffle back to their cars, parked haphazardly along Maple Street. Mark mutters something under his breath, but Laura glances back, her eyes apologetic. I stand in the doorway, watching as they drive off, the roar of engines fading into the evening. Only when the street is quiet do I step inside, closing the door with a soft click. My legs feel unsteady, and I sink into the armchair, my breath coming in shallow bursts. I did it. I stood my ground against David's orchestrated ambush, but the adrenaline is fading, replaced by a gnawing ache. Did I push too far? Will Lily get caught in the fallout? I think of her text from last night, just you and me, okay? And hold on to it like a lifeline. The phone, still on silent, lights up with a new message. I brace myself, expecting David or Sarah, but it's Lily. Grandma, I heard about Mom and Dad. I'm so sorry. Can I come tomorrow? Relief washes over me, and I type back, anytime, sweetheart. I'm here. I set the phone down and lean back, staring at the ceiling. Henry's voice echoes softly. You're stronger than you know, Maggie. I hope he's right, because David's parting words, this isn't over, ring true. They'll try again, and I need to be ready. For now, I focus on Lily's visit, on the small steps I'm taking toward a life that's mine. The trust is in motion, the payments are gone, and I've faced them down. It's not victory yet, but it's a start. The morning light filters through the lace curtains, casting delicate patterns across the hardwood floor of my cottage on Maple Street. I sit at the kitchen table, a half-empty mug of chamomile tea cooling in my hands. Last night's confrontation with David and his entourage left me rattled. Their faces, Laura's pity, Mark's judgment, David's barely veiled anger, replaying in my mind. I stood my ground, sent them away, but the victory feels hollow. A quiet ache has settled in my chest, a mix of guilt and loneliness that I can't shake. Did I go too far? Will Sarah ever see me as more than a bank? And Lily, will she be pulled into their resentment? I push the thoughts aside, but they cling like damp fog. I glance at the clock, 9:30 a.m. I'm meeting Ellen Parker, my oldest friend, at the Riverside Cafe in downtown Willow Creek at 10 a tongue. I need her perspective, her blunt honesty, to help me make sense of this mess. Ellen's never minced words. She called Sarah entitled years ago, when I paid for her failed boutique. I didn't listen then, but I'm ready now. I grab my purse and a light cardigan, locking the cottage behind me. My phone, still on silent, stays buried in my bag. Sarah and David's messages can wait. The cafe is a short walk along the James River, its waters sparkling under the October sun. Willow Creek bustles quietly, families strolling, joggers weaving past. I pass the bakery where Henry and I used to buy cinnamon rolls on Sundays, and the memory stings. Maggie, you can't fix their hearts with your wallet, he'd said once, watching me write a check for Sarah's car. I wish I'd believed him sooner. Inside the Riverside Cafe, the scent of fresh coffee and warm pastries greets me. Ellen's already at a corner table, her red scarf a bright splash against the muted decor. She waves me over, her smile wide but her eyes sharp, reading me the moment I sit down. Maggie Hale, you look like you've been through a war, she says, pushing a latte toward me. Spill it. I manage a small laugh, wrapping my hands around the warm mug. It feels like a war. Sarah, David, the whole mess. I told you about the texts. Sarah canceling the dinner, saying I didn't fit, telling me to give them space. Ellen nods, her lips pursed. Yeah, and you said you cut off their payments. Good for you. So what's the latest? I take a sip of the latte, the sweetness grounding me. Yesterday, David showed up at my house with a crowd. His sister, Sarah's coworker, some neighbors. They wanted a family meeting to guilt me into turning the payments back on. 98 of them, Ellen, mortgage, tuition, David's car. I've been bankrolling their entire life. Ellen's eyebrows shoot up, but she doesn't interrupt. I lean forward, my voice low. They stood on my porch, acting like I'm the villain. David said I'm hurting Ethan and Lily, that I'm tearing the family apart. Laura, his sister, went on about Sarah's stress, how they might lose their apartment. I told them to leave, said I'm done. But now, I trail off, my throat tightening. Now you're wondering if you're the bad guy. Ellen finishes, her tone matter of fact. Maggie, listen to me. You're not. Sarah and David have been leeching off you for years. That apartment, $80,000 from your savings. Ethan's school, your checks. They've built their whole life on your generosity, and what do you get? A text saying you don't fit? I nod, staring at the table. I know you're right, but it hurts. Sarah's my daughter. Ethan's just a kid. And Lily, she's caught in the middle. She came by last night, worried but kind. I don't want to lose her. You won't lose Lily, Ellen says, reaching across to squeeze my hand. She's got a good head on her shoulders. As for Sarah and David, they're adults. They've got jobs. Sarah's a realtor. David's a broker. They're not starving. They're just mad because the free ride's over. I exhale, the knot in my chest loosening slightly. I keep thinking about Henry. He warned me, said I was too generous. I thought I was helping, but I was enabling them. Now I've got a trust set up with Clara Thompson, my lawyer. My money's protected, but I still feel guilty, like I'm abandoning them. Ellen leans back, crossing her arms. Guilty? Maggie, you've given them everything. Money, time, love. When was the last time Sarah asked how you're feeling? Or David visited without wanting something? You're not abandoning them. You're saving yourself. Her words hit hard, echoing Henry's voice in my memory. Maggie, you're enough. I sip my latte, letting the truth sink in. You're right, I say softly. But it's hard. Last night, after David left, I kept thinking, what if they hate me? What if I end up alone? Ellen's expression softens, but her voice stays firm. You're not alone. You've got me, Lily, half of Willow Creek, who'd kill for your pecan pie. And you've got yourself, Maggie. That's what this is about. Finding the woman who got buried under all those checks. What do you want? Not for them, for you. I pause, the question catching me off guard. What do I want? For years, my life has revolved around Sarah's needs, Ethan's future, David's ambitions. I've put off my own dreams, a painting class, a trip to France, even simple things like reading a book without interruption. I want to live, I say finally, to paint, to travel, to wake up without worrying about their bills. Then do it, Ellen says, her eyes gleaming. You've already started, cutting off those payments, setting up the trust. That's you fighting for yourself. Don't stop now. I nod, a spark of resolve igniting. I won't. Clara's finalizing the trust this week, and I'm meeting her tomorrow to sign the new will. Lily gets 40%, the rest to the Willow Creek Library. Sarah and David get the minimum. Ellen grins, raising her coffee mug. That's my Maggie. To hell with their guilt trips. You're building something new. I clink my mug against hers, a small smile breaking through. To something new? We talk for another hour. The cafe's hum a soothing backdrop. Ellen shares stories about her grandkids, her recent pottery class, pulling me out of my spiral. By the time we part, the ache in my chest has dulled, replaced by a quiet strength. I walk home along the river, the October breeze cool against my skin. Henry's voice whispers again, "You're stronger than you know." I hold on to it, letting it carry me forward. Back in the cottage, I check my phone for the first time in hours. 3 new voicemails, 2 from Sarah, 1 from David. I delete them without listening. A text from Lily waits, though. "Grandma, I'm free tomorrow after work. Can I bring pizza?" I smile, typing back. "Sounds perfect, sweetheart." Her kindness is a lifeline, a reminder that I'm not alone. I sit at the kitchen table, pulling out a notepad, not for bills this time, but for me. I write, painting class, trip to France, read that novel on the shelf. Small dreams, but they're mine. The guilt still lingers, a shadow at the edges, but Ellen's words, Henry's memory, and Lily's care are brighter. Sarah and David will keep pushing, but I'm ready to push back. For the first time in years, I'm fighting for myself, and it feels like coming home. The autumn leaves scatter across Maple Street, their crimson and gold hues catching the late morning light as I sit on my porch, a cup of coffee warming my hands. It's been a week since David's ambush with his makeshift family meeting, and the silence from Sarah and David since then is both a relief and a nagging weight. I've kept my phone on silent, checking only for messages from Lily or Ellen, but the absence of their usual barrage feels like the calm before a bigger storm. My cottage in Willow Creek, Virginia, is quiet, the James River a steady shimmer beyond the trees, but my mind churns with what I've learned from Lily. Sarah and David are unraveling, and I'm watching from a distance, torn between sadness and a hard-earned sense of justice. Lily's been my window into their world, texting updates when she visits. Last night, over pizza in my dining room, she told me they're selling the Richmond apartment, the one I paid $80,000 to help them buy. "Mom's furious," Lily said, her voice soft with worry. "She blames Dad for not fixing things with you. They're fighting nonstop. Ethan," she said, "is struggling, his private school threatening to expel him over unpaid tuition. Lily herself has taken a second job at a cafe to cover her college fees, refusing to ask me for help. I want to do this on my own, Grandma," she'd said, her eyes fierce with pride. I admire her, but my heart aches for the chaos I've caused, even if it's a chaos they brought on themselves. I sip my coffee, the bitterness grounding me as I think of the 98 payments I canceled. Mortgage, tuition, car loans. Gone, like cutting the strings of a puppet show. Clara Thompson, my lawyer, confirmed the trust yesterday. My savings and cottage are now protected, untouchable by Sarah or David. The new will is signed too. 40% to Lily, the rest to the Willow Creek Library, with Sarah and Ethan getting the legal minimum. It's done, but the finality stirs a mix of relief and sorrow. I've spent decades building a family, only to see it fracture under the weight of their entitlement. A car pulls up, snapping me out of my thoughts. It's Lily's Honda, and she steps out, her brown hair tied back, a tentative smile on her face. "Grandma," she calls, waving as she crosses the lawn. "I brought muffins from the cafe." I stand, setting my coffee down, and meet her at the steps. "You're spoiling me, sweetheart," I say, hugging her. Her warmth is a balm, easing the ache I've carried all week. We settle on the porch, the muffins, blueberry still warm, between us. Lily's quieter than usual, her fingers fidgeting with the edge of her scarf. "What's wrong?" I ask, keeping my tone gentle. She sighs, her eyes fixed on the river. "It's bad at home. Mom and Dad are selling the apartment, moving to a smaller place in Chesterfield. Ethan's switching to public school next month. Mom's working extra hours, and Dad's, well, he's drinking more. I hate seeing it." I nod, my chest tightening. "I'm sorry it's hard, Lily. I never wanted to hurt you or Ethan." "I know," she says quickly, looking up. "This isn't your fault, Grandma. They've been taking advantage of you forever. I told Mom that, and she got so mad she didn't talk to me for 2 days. I reach for her hand, squeezing it. You don't have to fight my battles, sweetheart. You're doing enough, working 2 jobs, keeping up with school. She shrugs, a small smile breaking through. It's not so bad. The cafe's fun, and I'm learning to budget. It's kind of empowering, standing on my own. Her words spark something in me, pride, but also a mirror to my own journey. I'm proud of you, Lily, I say. You're stronger than your parents give you credit for. She blushes, picking at a muffin. Thanks. I just wish they'd see what they did to you. Mom keeps saying you're selfish, but I know better. I saw how they treated you. Always asking, never giving. Her words hit hard, a validation I didn't know I needed. It's been years, I admit, my voice low. I kept thinking if I gave enough, money, time, love, they'd see me. But they didn't. Your mother's text telling me I didn't fit was the last straw. Lily nods, her eyes glistening. I'm sorry, Grandma. You didn't deserve that. We sit in silence, the river's soft rush filling the space. I think of Henry, his steady voice. Maggie, you're enough. He'd be proud of Lily too, for her heart, her independence. But Sarah and David, their downfall is harder to watch than I expected. I don't want them to suffer, but I can't keep saving them. Grandma, Lily says, breaking the silence. What's next for you? I mean, you've done this huge thing, cutting them off, setting up the trust. What do you want now? The question catches me off guard, just like Ellen's did at the cafe. What do I want? For so long, my life has been about their needs. Sarah's mortgage, Ethan's school, David's car. Now, the slate is clean, and it's terrifying but exhilarating. I'm thinking about a painting class, I say slowly. There's one at the community center next month, and maybe a trip to France. I've always wanted to see Paris. Lily's face lights up. France! That's amazing! You have to go. Take tons of pictures. I laugh, her enthusiasm infectious. I will. Ellen might come with me. We're planning it for spring. Good, Lily says, leaning forward. You deserve it, Grandma. You deserve to be happy. Her words settle into me, a quiet truth. I've spent so long chasing their happiness, I forgot my own. But now, watching Lily, hearing her support, I feel a shift, a door opening to a life that's mine. My phone buzzes in my pocket, and I pull it out, expecting another update from Clara. It's Sarah. Mom, we need to talk. This is out of control. I show it to Lily, who frowns but doesn't say anything. She can wait, I say, pocketing the phone. Right now, it's just you and me. Lily smiles, reaching for another muffin. Deal. As we talk, the weight of Sarah and David's struggles fades, replaced by the lightness of this moment. Their world is crumbling, but it's their mess to clean up. Lily's forging her own path, and so am I. For the first time, I see the fairness in it, the consequences they've earned, the freedom I'm claiming. It's not revenge, but it's justice, and it's enough for now. The October breeze carries the scent of fallen leaves as I sit on the back porch of my cottage, a canvas propped on an easel before me. The James River glints in the distance, its surface catching the golden light of late afternoon in Willow Creek, Virginia. My paintbrush hovers over the canvas, a half-finished sketch of the riverbank taking shape in soft blues and greens. I started a painting class at the community center last week, and for the first time in years, my hands are creating something just for me. The phone, tucked in my pocket, has been quiet today. No new messages from Sarah or David, only a cheerful text from Lily this morning. Grandma, how's the painting going? Send pics. I smile, thinking of her, the one bright thread still tying me to that family. It's been 2 months since I cut off the 98 payments, Sarah's mortgage, Ethan's tuition, David's car loans, and set up the irrevocable trust with Clara Thompson. The silence from Sarah and David has stretched, punctuated only by occasional curt texts, demanding we talk. I've ignored them, focusing instead on the life I'm building. Lily's updates paint a clear picture. They sold the Richmond apartment, moving to a modest rental in Chesterfield. Sarah's taken on extra real estate clients. David's working longer hours, and Ethan's adjusting to public school. Lily, juggling her bookstore and cafe jobs, is thriving, her independence a mirror to my own. I'm proud of her, but I can't help the pang of sadness for Sarah and Ethan, caught in a crisis of their own making. I dip my brush in cerulean, adding depth to the river's reflection. Painting has become my refuge, each stroke a step away from the woman who lived for others. Ellen's been my cheerleader, pushing me to sign up for the class and plan a trip to France next spring. Paris, Maggie, she said over coffee last week, her eyes sparkling. We'll sip wine by the Seine. The thought lights me up, a dream I'd shelved for decades while funding Sarah's life. $80,000 for their apartment, $12,000 a year for Ethan's school, $25,000 for David's SUV. Those numbers used to define me, but now they're just echoes of a past I've left behind. The doorbell chimes, pulling me from my thoughts. I set the brush down, wiping my hands on my apron, and head to the front door. It's Lily, her backpack slung over one shoulder, a pizza box in her hands. Surprise, she says, grinning. I got off early, thought we could have dinner. You're a godsend, I say, hugging her tightly. Her warmth chases away the lingering shadows of Sarah's anger. We settle in the kitchen, the pizza's cheesy aroma filling the room as I grab plates. Lily's chatter about her history professor and a new book she's reading fills the space, and I feel a lightness I haven't known in years. Grandma, she says mid-bite, you look different, happier. The painting class? I nod, slicing the pizza. It's more than that. It's this. I gesture around the cottage at the quiet, the freedom. No more bills, no more demands. Just me, living for myself. Lily's smile softens. I'm glad. You deserve it. I know Mom and Dad are still mad, but I think they're starting to get it. Mom mentioned you the other day, said maybe she was too harsh. I raise an eyebrow, skeptical. Did she now? Yeah, Lily says, hesitating. She's stressed, though. They're cutting back a lot. Dad's even selling his car. I pause, the slice halfway to my plate. A part of me feels a twinge of guilt. Sarah's my daughter, Ethan's my grandson. But then I remember her texts. You're selfish. You don't fit. They'll manage, I say, my voice firm. They have to. Lily nods, her eyes thoughtful. I know, it's just weird, seeing them struggle. But I'm proud of you, Grandma. You're doing what's right for you. Her words settle into me, a quiet validation. We eat, talking about her classes, my painting, the France trip with Ellen. It's easy, real, the kind of connection I've craved from Sarah but never got. As we finish, my phone buzzes, a rare sound these days. I pull it out, expecting Ellen, but it's Sarah. Mom, can we talk? No fighting, I promise, just us. I show it to Lily, who frowns but stays quiet. You going to reply? She asks, stacking the plates. Not yet, I say, pocketing the phone. I need time. She's had years to talk to me, not about money, but about us. I'm not ready to open that door again. Lily nods, her expression a mix of relief and understanding. Fair enough. Just don't shut her out forever, okay? She's my mom. I know, sweetheart, I say, touching her arm. My door's always open for you, and maybe one day for her, if she learns what family really means. We move to the porch, Lily carrying her lemonade, me with my tea. The canvas still sits on the easel, the river half painted but alive with possibility. Show me how you do this, Lily says, pointing to the brushes. I laugh, handing her one, and we paint together, the strokes clumsy but joyful. The sun dips low, painting the sky in pinks and oranges, and I feel a peace I haven't known in decades. Later, after Lily leaves, I sit alone, the canvas drying in the twilight. I think of Henry, his voice steady in my memory. Maggie, you're enough. I'm starting to believe it. The trust is set, the payments are gone, and I'm building something new. A life where I'm the main character. Sarah's text waits unanswered, and for now, that's okay. I pick up my brush again, adding one last stroke to the river. This is my time, my dawn, and I'm ready to live it. The porch is quiet now, the river's gentle rush a soft lullaby as the stars emerge over Willow Creek. I sit with my tea, the canvas beside me, its colors a testament to the life I'm reclaiming. 2 months ago, I was Margaret Hale, the mother who gave everything, $80,000 for Sarah's apartment, countless checks for Ethan's school, David's car, only to be told I didn't fit. That pain, sharp and raw, woke me up. Cutting off 98 payments was my first stand, setting up the trust with Clara my second. Facing David's manipulative crowd, Sarah's anger, I held firm, choosing myself over their demands. It wasn't easy. Guilt gnawed at me, whispering I'd abandoned my family. But Ellen's words, Lily's love, and Henry's memory anchored me. I'm not alone. I have friends, a granddaughter who sees me, and most importantly, myself. Sarah and David are rebuilding, selling their apartment, learning to stand without me. Lily's thriving, her independence a mirror to my own. I'm painting now, planning France with Ellen, dreaming of Paris's lights. Sarah's latest text waits, a plea for peace, but I'm not ready. Family isn't just blood, it's respect, care, things I've given but rarely received. This journey, painful as it was, has taught me my worth. I'm 75, but I'm starting anew, each brushstroke a step toward freedom. To anyone listening, know this, you are enough. Set your boundaries, claim your life, and don't let anyone dim your light. I'm living proof it's never too late to shine. Thank you for listening to my story.